why is it so incredibly hard sometimes to move on from a tough experience? We're going to break down the science behind that feeling of being stuck and, more importantly, explore a clear path toward getting unstuck. Let's dive in. You know that feeling like you're in a room and you just can't find the door out? No matter what you try, some event from your past just keeps pulling you back. But what if I told you that room has walls? 4 specific walls that, once you see them, you can start to understand how to get out. So, that trapped feeling, a lot of it can be understood as post-traumatic stress. And instead of thinking of it as some complicated clinical diagnosis, let's just think of it as being inside a room built by these 4 walls. And here they are. These are the 4 big ways that trauma can keep its hold on us. Intrusive memories, being on constant high alert, a negative shift in how you think, and that really powerful urge to just avoid. Let's take a closer look at each one of these walls. Okay, so the first wall is made of what we call intrusive symptoms. And look, these are not just memories. It can feel like you are literally reliving the event right here, right now. They're totally involuntary. They just pop into your head without an invitation, maybe triggered by a sound or smell. The second wall, that's your body's alarm system getting stuck in the on position. After trauma, your brain can decide to stay on high alert for danger permanently. This is why you might feel so jumpy or on edge or quick to anger. It's just plain exhausting because your body is burning all this energy preparing for a threat that isn't even there. And that leads us right to the third wall, how trauma can just change the way you see everything. It can poison your worldview, leading to these persistent feelings of guilt or shame, making it really hard to feel anything positive. You might even feel totally detached, kind of like you're just watching your own life from a distance. And the final wall is avoidance. Now, on the surface, this makes perfect sense, right? If something hurts, you stay away from it. You avoid the people, the places, even your own thoughts that remind you of what happened. But here's the twist. This wall, it's different. It's not just another wall. It's the engine that's keeping the other 3 standing. That's right, because while avoiding everything feels like you're protecting yourself, it's actually a trap. It's the very thing that powers the whole cycle of post-traumatic stress and keeps you from ever really moving forward. I mean, this quote just nails it. As long as you keep avoiding the memories and the feelings, your brain never gets a chance to learn that the danger is over. It can't file that memory away in the past folder. So in a very real way, avoidance becomes the fuel that keeps the whole fire going. This image shows it perfectly. After a trauma, you're at a fork in the road. There are really 2 paths you can go down. One is the path of avoidance, and the other is the path of processing. And the one you choose, well, it makes all the difference in the world. So here's the paradox, and this is so important. The avoidance path, it feels safer in the moment. Of course it does. But over time, it keeps the trauma in the driver's seat of your life. The processing path, yeah, it feels harder at first. It means leaning into that discomfort. But it's the only way to teach your brain that you're safe now and to put you back in control. Now, if you're hearing this and thinking, leaning in sounds completely impossible, that makes sense, and it's crucial to understand why. This isn't about a lack of willpower or courage. This is about your brain doing exactly what it was designed to do to keep you alive. When you face a real threat, your brain's alarm system, your amygdala, just takes over. It floods your body with adrenaline and cortisol to get you ready to fight, run, or freeze. In that split second, your rational, thinking brain essentially goes offline so that every ounce of energy can go toward pure survival. So here's the problem. After the trauma is over, that alarm system can get stuck being way too sensitive. It starts seeing danger everywhere, setting off these false alarms in response to everyday things, a car backfiring, a crowded room. Your body is having this massive survival reaction, and avoidance just becomes your strategy to stop the alarms from going off. But it's not just the biology. There's another huge layer here that keeps us stuck, and it has everything to do with the stories we tell ourselves about what happened. They're called stuck points, and they're exactly what they sound like. They are thoughts and beliefs that literally keep you from recovering. Things like, it was my fault, or I'm broken forever, or the world is completely unsafe. Now, the key thing to realize is that these feel like facts, but they're not. They are interpretations. This slide makes such a powerful distinction. Think of it this way. You have natural emotions and manufactured emotions. A natural emotion is the fear you felt during the event. That has a natural course. But manufactured emotions, like guilt or shame, come from your thoughts about the event. They're the logs you keep throwing on the fire, keeping the pain going long after it should have burned out. And a huge source for these stuck points is when a trauma shatters our deep-seated belief that the world is fair, that good things happen to good people. When something awful and unfair happens, our brain scrambles to make sense of it. And honestly, it's often easier to blame ourselves, I must have done something wrong, than it is to accept the terrifying idea that the world can be random and you have no control. Okay, so if we're boxed in by our biology, our avoidance habits, and these powerful stories, how in the world do we find a way forward? Well, it starts by taking a really honest look at what's actually keeping you stuck. The first real actionable step on this path is to shine a light on those stuck points. You can't change a story if you don't even know you're telling it. So the goal is to get those interpretations out of your head and down on paper where you can really look at them. This right here is a tool designed to do exactly that. It's called an impact statement. And notice the questions here. They're not asking what happened. They're asking about the meaning of what happened. Why do you think this happened? How has it changed how you see yourself and others? It's a way to uncover those hidden beliefs that are running the show. And I really need to emphasize this. The whole point of this kind of work is not to make you relive the trauma. It is about understanding the meaning you've attached to it. It's about separating the event itself from the story you've built around it. Because that story, that's where your power is. Getting unstuck isn't about erasing the past. It's about changing its power over your present and your future. It's about realizing that you're the one holding the pen. So the question I want to leave you with is this. What story from your past is ready to be rewritten?